James Kaufman, World News Report today, December 15th, 2024. God bless you and yours, no matter where you are in the world. Please subscribe, give us a thumbs up, ring that bell for critical future updates. New Jersey drone sightings may be nuclear sniffers following elevated New York City radiation levels, and I will show you those. Founder of an aerospace company specializing in military-grade drones, published a video on the Chinese social media platform TikTok, sharing his thoughts on the mystery drone sightings in New Jersey. His expert opinion is alarming, leaving many wishing that Paul Krugman's theory about an alien invasion was true instead. Quote, I spoke to a gentleman a few months ago who was trying to raise the alarm to the highest levels of our government about this one particular nuclear warhead that he physically put his hands on that was left over from Ukraine, and that he knew this thing was headed towards the United States. Saxon Aerospace's John Ferguson stated in the video. They're afraid that the deep state is going to set off either a nuclear bomb or a dirty bomb before Trump's inauguration. Quote, my belief is that these drones are trying to smell something on the ground. He goes on to explain that these drones are able to be equipped with smellers or sniffers, and that they can locate things like gas leaks or radioactive material. So listen to what he has to say, and then we'll take a look at radiation levels on Long Island.
Hey everyone, my name is John Ferguson. I'm the CEO of Saxon Aerospace here in Wichita, Kansas. I'm not normally a TikTok kind of a guy. I like watching this stuff every once in a while. But I'm a manufacturer of unmanned aircraft, military-grade unmanned aircraft, as you can see one of my systems here. There's all of these mysterious drones going on off the East Coast, and as a professional, as a subject matter expert, I wanted to give you all my opinion on what I think could be going on with these drones. I don't particularly believe that these have a nefarious intent. I could be wrong, but I want to give you the truth and what I believe. It's my own opinion, and I've not bounced this off of anybody, so, if you think it's bullshit, whatever, that's cool. I don't want to spread misinformation, as we know that there's a lot of that going around. But anyway, back in the 1980s, Ronald Reagan had dismantled the nuclear program, and there were, with Russia, there were countless nuclear missiles that were disarmed and disposed of. Well, there were over 80, I believe. There were over 80 nuclear warheads that were in Ukraine that came up missing. Okay? We don't know where they are. Maybe somebody does, but nobody really knows where these are. And I speak with some pretty high-level government officials on this stuff, and it seems as though that is the case. So I spoke to a gentleman a few months ago who was trying to raise an alarm to the highest levels of our government, which they had their ears closed, about this one particular nuclear warhead that he physically put his hands on. He physically touched this warhead that was left over from Ukraine. And he knew that that thing was headed towards the United States. Okay? That is a very serious deal. And everyone knows that the United States government, this administration, is pushing to get into a war with Russia. We all know that. We all feel it. We all see it. Okay? Well, back up a few years. Do y'all remember when those drones were mysteriously flying across the Interstate 70 corridor from Colorado up into Nebraska, down here into Kansas, and out into Missouri? Well, it was believed that those drones were looking for radioactive material because there had been some material that came up missing here in the United States, and they felt like it was high probability that the nuclear or the radioactive material would be taken along the Interstate 70 corridor heading east or west or south. So, from what we understand, they were out there trying to find this radioactive material. Now, drones, they have no reason to be in the air at night, unless you're doing some type of ISR work, intelligence, surveillance, reconnaissance, looking for bad guys, or looking for a victim, a search and rescue victim, or law enforcement, or some type of military project, right? There's no reason for a drone to be flying at night, really, okay? Because they don't see shit. So, unless you have thermal optics, drones really don't see stuff. You need to do mapping during the day. If you're going to do farming stuff, mostly do it during the day. The only reason why you would ever fly an aircraft, an unmanned aircraft at night, is if you're looking for something, whether it be a person or trying to smell gas. We have methane gas detection systems that can detect gas leaks in pipelines. You really wouldn't use thermal optics for trying to find gas leaks, just simply because the only way you're actually going to find a gas leak with thermal optics is if the gas leak is aggressive enough that it has a difference in temperature. Because thermal imaging, it creates a digital image based off the temperature variance. So whatever is different in temperature, it creates an image. Usually gas leaks so slow that it goes quickly into ambient, before you can even see it. So we have special sensors that can detect gas leaks. We also have special sensors that can detect radioactive material. So, with this gentleman that I had spoken with, who was trying to raise the alarm to try to get somebody in the government to say, hey, we need to work together to go try to find this nuclear warhead, none of that ever happened. They knew that warhead was on its way to the United States. That's all that ever came of it. Nothing ever happened. This government did not do anything at all to help this gentleman raise the alarm and raise awareness that there is a very deadly weapon on its way to the United States. It's out there. Nobody knows where it's at now. It left Europe. Now it's gone. So my own guess, is that these drones are not nefarious in intent. If they are, they are, but I doubt it. But if they are drones, the only reason why they would be flying, and flying that low, is because they're trying to smell something on the ground. That's it. There's no other reason for a drone to be flying in the air other than to piss a bunch of people off at night. That's it. So, my belief is they're trying to smell something on the ground. Gas leaks, radioactive material, whatever. So, do I think that they're coming up out of the ocean? No, I don't think so. Drones that are multi-copter type drones, not the fixed wing aircraft that look like regular airplanes, but the multi-copters, they only have so much battery life. They have hybrid versions that are gas powered with electric, but those can still only fly for a short period of time. There's no way in hell that any drone is going to go miles off the coast as a multi-copter and fly into the interior of the United States and do a bunch of work and then turn around and fly back. It's just, physics will not allow that to happen. So, these drones, I believe, are launched from a location that nobody knows, but I do believe that they're flying low enough that they're just trying to sniff the ground and try to find something. So, again, I hate to be a pessimist or a guy that thinks, directly to the negative. However, I know as a professional, we build professional stuff for the military. I believe that they're actually out there trying to smell something that's very important. So anyway, let me know what you think of this video. I'm not trying to gaslight. I'm not trying to scare people. I'm just trying to let people know that this is a serious deal. It's only serious for what the potential could be.
And we all know that, the left and the deep state will pull no punches. They will set that bomb off and take out a small town or large city anywhere in America if they can get us into so much hassle that somehow maybe martial law is declared and there is no turnover of power. Who takes over at that point? Kamala Harris? Wow. So, folks, very scary. You know that they're willing to do absolutely anything. With that, we also have raised levels of radiation in New York City today. And when I say raised, they're fairly raised. So I went to a few sources and found out how many rads of radiation would be lethal. Now, this is a real-time radiation world map. You can see we have levels right down in New York City at 223 and 278. Well, how many rads, radiation absorbed dose per hour, is lethal? Google says doses of 200 to 1,000 rads delivered in a few hours will cause serious illness with a very poor outlook at the upper end of the range. So what that tells you is that these radiation levels here, all of a sudden that appeared in New York City, are radiation levels that will cause serious illness. And if they go much higher, they would actually be deadly. Now, we have no way of knowing if any of this is associated with a dirty bomb or radioactive material that's been placed all over New York or all over the country or what's going on, but we do know that these are, according to Google, very dangerous levels of radiation, period. Now, to give you some idea, we have a route from New York City to Tokyo, a polar route, and all year long, annually, they only get 9 extra rads of radiation. Recommended limit for radiation workers every 5 years is just 100 rads. And we're looking at levels of 278 in New York City. That, ladies and gentlemen, should scare anyone to death. Please share, please subscribe, and always remember, anything's possible. Bizarro world.